Hey, today we're going to take a look at clear cases for your iPhone XS Max. So if you watch my iPhone XS Max video, you know I think it's a stunning looking phone. I mean, what's not to love? Full screen front, glass back. This is the gold color, so it has the gold stainless steel. And yeah, it's gorgeous. But glass is no friend to hard surfaces, so you know if you drop this, it's going to be prone to breaking and shattering. So how do we protect this but still be able to look at it and show it off? Well, I got just what you might be looking for, and that's 5 clear cases to not only protect the phone but still be able to see how stunning it looks. So we're going to go ahead and unbox those right now, and let's go ahead and take a look. So here we have the 5 clear cases we're going to take a look at today. We have one from Taurus, we have one from Trianium, another from Spigen, Ringke, and a new company I'm looking at that I've never looked at before, one from Ranvoo. I believe that's how you pronounce it. So let's go ahead and get started in no particular order. Move these out the way. And here is the gold iPhone XS Max that we will be using to model these cases. So the first case we're going to look at is this Taurus. It's a Taurus clear case. It's one of those TPU bumpers that I'm sure everyone has, and it says it's part of the Shine series phone cases. Let's go ahead and take it out of its packaging. And there you have it. That is the Taurus clear case. There you have some micro dot kind of texture on the inside to keep it from showing any watermarks. And for those of you who own these type of cases, TPU cases, some of the early ones that came out, especially with the iPhone 7 Plus Jet Black, there would be some moisture retained, or they would stick against the back of the case and have watermarking, and that looked unsightly and didn't really show off the phone's appearance. So now a lot of case manufacturers have started putting kind of micro dot textures on the case to keep it from doing that. It's a very fine texture. You can barely see it. So let's see how it looks like on the phone. Slips on very easily. The mute switch is easy to manipulate. Buttons are very clicky. You have the cutouts on the bottom for the speakers and access to the lightning charge port. Overall, it's a good looking case. You can barely see the kind of micro dot texture on here. The cutout for the camera looks nice and centered. Some of that texture is also along the sides. It feels really good in the hand, and there is a bezel so that when you put the phone face down, the screen or the display won't touch the surface that you're placing it on. So the bezel goes all the way around. So that's a good looking case, doesn't add much bulk, nice and clear. Yeah, that's a good case. I like that one, and that's from Taurus. So let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. Move this to the side. And the next case we have is the Trianium Protective Slim Case, and I had one last year, and I've had one before. And the one thing I really like about these Trianium cases, and why I always go back and pick one of these up, is they seem to stay clear longer. Now, all these type of cases, TPU cases, eventually will yellow. The Trianium, for whatever reason, at least for me in my experience, seem to stay clear a little longer. Eventually, after a year or so, it will show a little bit of yellowing, but that's just the reality of these kind of cases. But Trianium seem to hold up its appearance longer, so that's one I always go back to. And the other reason I like going back to it is, while I open this up, is that the shape is a little different on these, and I actually kind of like the shape of the Trianiums. So this is the clear case. It has warranty information. And there is plastic protecting it. Let's go ahead and put the phone in it, and then I'll show you the kind of shape that I was talking about. So if you look, I don't know if you can see it, I'll try and hopefully the camera will capture it, is it's rounded on the sides, but the very top and the edges is flat, which is kind of reminiscent, at least to me, to the feel of an iPhone 5, iPhone 4, where it had the flat sides. And it's a unique shape. You don't find it in too many cases, because a lot of them like to conform to the contours of the phone. I just like this because sometimes it does feel good in hand. As you can see, the mute switch is easy to reach. Maybe a little, maybe you might need, some of you might need a little bit of fingernail. I don't have any fingernails and I can still reach it, but it is a little bit of a challenge to reach that. It's in there. All the buttons seem clicky, easy to work. Cutouts for the speakers and access to the charging port, and the cutout for the camera. And this one has some raised edges to keep the back off the surface, and there is a good bezel around there to keep the display off the surface when you place it face down. And I really like the way these hold up over time. It's a good looking case. It feels different in the hand than some of the other cases, because these are rounded and these like to conform to the shape of the phone. But I kind of like this as an alternate feel and look, and there is ample protection on here. So let's go ahead and go to the next one, and these again are TPU cases. They're typically pretty flexible. Again, back is hard, as this one is flexible as well. So far, two good clear cases. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Spigen. Spigen makes a ton of cases. I don't need to tell you guys anything about Spigen. Chances are, if you own a mobile device, you've owned a Spigen case at one point. And this is the iPhone XS Max Liquid Crystal. Let's take a look at this one. Let's see, we got the lens care cloth and some more literature saying to use a wet wipe to clean if there's a stain. And this one is very similar to the Taurus. I mean, as far as the shape, it's rounded. This one has some Spigen branding there and the micro dot texturing on the back. Let's go back and look at the Taurus, and if we look around the Taurus, there really is no branding on the edges, although that shape is unique, so I'll know I'm using the Taurus because of the shape. And this was the Trianium and this is the Taurus, and the Taurus has no branding either. So Spigen, they want you to know it's a Spigen, so they have the branding on the side. Let's put this on the phone, and that's a good looking case, nice and clear. That micro dot texture will make sure there's no watermarks. Buttons are accessible. The mute switch is accessible with just your fingertip. Ports are exposed, speakers are exposed. You can see there's some bumper protection there, little air bubble. There's a raised bevel so that you can put the phone face down and not worry about it scratching your display. And overall, that's a good looking case. Another good case from Spigen. Again, they have their logo there, and they also let you know that it's Spigen Inc. in Irvine, California, made in South Korea, #1. So they add that logo and branding. I'm not a big fan of logo and branding, but these guys like to put their name on there, and Spigen does make a good case. And that looks good. That looks like that'll hold up well over time. The top says, also here's, I caught this one, air cushion technology. Yeah, that's what the air bubbles in the corner are for. And there is no raised bumps or edges on this one like the Trianium. So if you put this on its back on a table surface, there is a chance that this will scratch. Let's go ahead and take that off. And again, it's flexible. The back is soft as well. I think so far only the Trianium has had a harder back. Okay, next up we have another one I looked at last time, the Ringkey Case. I got this last year for my iPhone 10, and I really like the feel and the shape of it, and it's relatively inexpensive, so I picked another one up for the iPhone 10s Max. So I'll tend to go back to cases I like, and I'll take a look at them again as I get new phones in the future. So Ringkey was a brand that I kind of found last year, and I really like the case on my iPhone 10, so I got the version for the 10s Max. So inside you get a thank you card and some other literature. And the outside film, so there's protective film on this. I understand why they do it. I'm not a big fan of it because I always have a little bit of a challenge taking them out. Let's go ahead and see how long it takes me to dig the protective film off of this one. Pull tabs. Clear case manufacturers really add pull tabs to the protective film, so it makes it easier for us to take it off. The inside wasn't too bad because it wasn't adhered all the way in the top. This one's going to be a little more of a challenge because it's the back. Again, guys, pull tabs. Clear case phone manufacturers clear tabs, so we can pull the film off easily. I think I got it, and yep. And this is the Ringkey. I'm going to put the phone in there. Good tight fit. And this one has a substantial bezel to keep the screen off of the surface if you lay it face down. It's actually higher on the top and bottom than it is on the sides. So you can put it face down and not worry about the screen scratching at all. The back also has some raised corners, sorry, and that'll keep the back off, so you don't have to worry about the back scratching as easily. I can see some micro dot texturing on the back to prevent the watermarks. The camera cutout looks centered and even. There is some, oh, that's kind of nice. There is some texturing on the buttons. It's not as smooth as the rest of the case, and the buttons are clicky. Just on the power button, so the volume buttons don't have that texture, but the power button has a bit of a texture, which is kind of nice actually. The corners have extra padding, and you can see some kind of corner shapes on there which actually look kind of cool. And the mute switch, again, is easy to reach. I have no fingernails and I can reach it with my fingertip or thumb tip. So that is another good looking case. I like that, and Ringke again came through. There is some branding on this one. This one's made in Korea by Ringke. Shock absorption technology. So I like that Ringke case. Branding's not too bad, as with the Spigen. So I'll be using this case. Again, like the feel of it. So we have one more, the fifth one, and this fifth one is from a manufacturer that I have never bought a case from before. And that manufacturer is Ranvoo. It says case for cell phone. And the reason I picked this one up is because the description detailed that it was made, or the back was made of tempered glass, which will prevent scratches. Glass is more resistant to scratches than plastic or TPU, and I was really interested to see how this one would work on the new iPhone XS Max. Again, this one's from Ranvoo. Inside the packaging is the case itself. A pretty nice microfiber cloth. So they're putting in some goodies in here. Some literature, of course, and a warning that it is a glass product. No scratches even by knife. No matter how tough the glass is, it may still break. Yeah, and that was another thing I wanted to kind of touch on is I typically, because I've had bad experiences in the past, don't buy cases that I feel themselves need protection. And that's typically all glass cases, because glass cases, as soon as you drop it, it's going to crack or shatter, and then what's the point? You have to buy another one. It protected the phone, which all cases should do, but if it itself needs protection, I typically shy away from those. But again, for this one, I was really intrigued by it. It was a case I had never seen or used a case that was TPU on the sides, because the sides are TPU. And the back is glass, tempered glass. So yeah, it is not flexible, and I'm not going to force flexing it because that could crack the glass. On the plus side, it shouldn't scratch at all on the back. But these sides are flexible, as you can see. The bumper part is flexible, though that's not. And again, I'm not going to force that. These other ones, which were TPU, are pretty flexible, no problem. So let's go ahead and put the phone in there. You can hear that. That is glass. So I'll be careful putting this in, because I don't want to flex the glass too much and perhaps have it shatter. And again, I'm going to say that because I'm just realizing it. I'm extra careful with this case because it is glass. Once on the phone, you should be good. Don't have to worry about it flexing so much that it'll crack. But again, I fully expect that if I drop this, it'll protect the phone, but I expect that the back will probably crack or shatter, much like a screen protector that was tempered glass would. But overall, I'm going to look at it and say it is a nice looking case. It feels good in the hand. The buttons are pretty clicky. The mute switch is really accessible. You know, the buttons are a little not as clicky, actually. You kind of have to press a little harder. But it's not too bad. There's the cutouts for the lightning port, and for the speakers. There is a bevel around the back, so if you place it down, the back won't touch. But then again, that's glass, so it shouldn't be that susceptible to scratches. In the front, again, there is a bezel around the front of the screen, and it looks like the top is higher, as well as, or at least the corners are higher. So that'll keep the screen or display off of the table or surface you're placing it on. That is a good looking case. I'll be interested to see how long this stands up. I don't often drop my phone, but sometimes I do, and if I have this case on, I like to see how easily it will crack or shatter. I expect it to, but it's a nice looking case, I will say that. So there you have it, 5 clear cases for the iPhone XS Max, cases that will provide protection. Even this glass one will provide good protection for your phone if you drop it, and still show off the beauty of the phone itself, the device itself. So that'll about do it for my look at 5 clear cases for the iPhone XS Max. And not only do these cases look great, they will protect the phone from reasonable drops. So as always guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, or subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll put links down in the description in case you want to buy one of these cases. And please consider using the links. I am not sponsored. They are affiliate links. So although it's zero extra cost for you, it maybe earns me a small commission on each item purchased. And when I say small, believe me, it's really small, but it really helps the channel and it encourages me to make more videos for you guys. So please consider using the links, and until next time, please take care and be safe out there.